Welcome into the Pride at Demorest, Georgia for this evening's matchup of CCS soccer play between the visiting Covenant Scots and your Piedmont Lions. Welcome into the broadcast booth, everybody. Eric Evanson here with you alongside my partner, Grant Prather, Miss Shaylee Gallegos on the camera this evening with us. And Grant, it's a little bit warm at the WAC, but the Lions need some warmth to heat up.
Yeah, they've been in a little bit of a slide, to say the least. 1-0 loss versus Belhaven. They've had some good moments, but trying to, come up on top in a conference game. They're 2-2 so far, looking to win some more. Covenant at 3-0-2, so they've been pretty dominant in conference. And as the season wraps up, this is going to be a big one for the Lions.
Sorry about that. Just got a text message and a roster change here. Just want to make sure we get that right. So we'll get that change to you here momentarily. But like you said, Grant, the Lions coming in a little bit of a slide, especially last time we saw them here at the WAC versus LaGrange. They lost 3-1. The offense kind of fell stagnant. They sputtered in the second half and couldn't get anything going. And that's pretty indicative of what we saw this year.
Yeah, and that first half started off great, 1-0 at halftime, and then it just kind of collapsed. And that's one thing you can't let happen is once you start to get down, you can't let it really get to you. You got to be able to move on from those mistakes and keep it going. Like you said, that second half offense has been a struggle this year, so that's going to be one thing to look for against a tough Covenant defense. And
you mentioned Covenant. They are top of the conference right now. Win streak of 1. They're 10-2-3 overall in the year, 3-0 in conference play. And Grant, the Lions just have one singular victory over them in program history. That came here at the WAC, however.
Yeah, Covenant just, completely dominant. 15-1-1 against the Lions. That's 15 wins, 1 loss, and only 1 tie. So obviously the Lions looking to make it 15-2-1, but Covenant has definitely had the edge.
Absolutely. I think and I mentioned this to you, Graham, before we went on air, I think a big player in today's game is going to be Nathan Jacome. Nathan Jacome's been great defensively this year. We saw a little bit more of offensive prowess from him last year. Haven't seen it this year, but if he can control that ball and get it to the midfield, and to my knowledge, Jason Oseen is also starting, as yes, he is. So Oseen's also going to be a huge proponent in this Lions offense this evening.
Yeah, Oseen nursing a little bit of an injury, but he's still up in the lineup, obviously. And like you said, Jacome, such a big role offensively his freshman year, previous year. So we're going to have to see if he can pick it up a little bit. He's only had 1 goal this year, 8 shots on goal, so not too efficient, but so dangerous in those set pieces.
So it looks like we have the substitution. It appears that Bobby Wood will not be starting this game as we thought he was. It looks like it's going to be Chase Johnson in net for the Lions. Chase has gotten a lot of starting looks this season, especially when Bobby Wood isn't available. Not spying Bobby Wood on the sideline either. I'm not sure what's happening with the Lions' star goalkeeper, but it looks as though he will be unavailable, at least for the first half this evening. And Grant, we've seen Chase in goal before. We've seen how agile he can be, but we've also seen his struggles.
Yeah, and his struggle really is just his frame. He's listed, I think, at 5'7", so maybe 5'9", so the height is definitely an issue for him, but he makes up for it in his agility. Bobby, obviously, at 6'4", is able to get a bit more of those tougher hits, but Chase, he hasn't had that bad of a year. His only ones he's really let through have just been due to his height.
Absolutely, and we'll go ahead and give you the starting lineups for both squads. Grant, you want to start us off with the visiting Covenant Scots.
Yeah, so in goal, number 0, Eli Honeycutt. Defending number 2 is William Campbell, also out there, Fox Langer, number 4, defending with him. Tyler Swinehart listed at defender at number 5. Parker Rohde, number 6, defending. At forward, number 10, Whit Tisdale. At mid, number 12, Luke Laughlin. 18, Henry Parker is also at mid. Defending, number 20, Daniel Wallace. Also defending, number 23, Jackson Henson. And at forward, number 24, Cade Tennyson.
And the starting lineup for your homestanding Lions. In net, it is going to be Chase Johnson, as we said. Then Andre Grant will be with him. Wearing number 3, James Cash gets the start along with Nathan Jacome, sporting number 4. Delroy Madison there once again, and Boris Bosick gets the start this evening. He'll be wearing number 7. Number 10, Colin Vogel will be up attacking along with Davis Knight. We mentioned Jason Oseen is back in the starting lineup and on the pitch. The captain for the Lions back out there. Jack DeSanto and Tyler Vogt also will join him in the midfield. So that's your starters for the Lions and the Scots. Both teams walk out to half field where we will pause for the national anthem. We'll rejoin you with CCS conference action here at the WAC. You're watching Piedmont Lions Soccer on YouTube. Welcome back to the booth, everybody. Eric Edmondson here with you with Grant Prather, Shaylee Gallegos on the camera this evening. Starting lineups getting announced, and Grant, give me your key of how the Lions can pick up just their second conference victory against the Covenant Scots this evening.
I think it's just going to be keeping up with them, because we've seen once they start to get down, they really can't come back. That offense starts to stagnate, so they're going to have to be able to at least put one goal up in this first half, which is going to rely on their offensive scheme. A lot of their offensive scheme relies solely on Colin Vogel and Davis Knight to produce, so if they're able to, they're going to be two huge pieces for the Lions today.
Davis Knight and Colin Vogel, such a volatile and such a what's the word I'm looking for? A potent combo at the top of the Lions offense from last year. They have had their moments this year, Davis Knight especially, but in true combo succession, it hasn't been a dynamic duo, Grant. It seems like both of them have just been caught off stride by one another.
Yeah, not really what it was last year. A lot of that is because I think Vogel has been moved to that forward, plays a lot more midfield reps, so the connection isn't always there. Knight with 9 goals, Colin with 4 this year, so definitely not the production we saw last year, but the potential is definitely still there.
Give you a quick rundown for both lineups just before we start. For the visiting Scots, it's Honeycutt and net, then Campbell, Landgren, Swinehart, and Rohde on defense. Forward is Tisdale, Laughlin, and Parker in midfield. Also on defense is Wallace and Henson. Also forward is Tennyson. Then for the Lions in net, again, it's Chase Johnson. Then forward, Andre Grant. Defending will be Cash, Jacome, Mattis, and Bosick. Forward will be Vogel and Knight. And in the midfield, you'll find Oseen, DeSanto, and Vogt. Just getting ready to get going here at the WAC. It's, like I said, a little bit of a warm evening. Grant says it's absolutely perfect right now. Maybe I think it's a little bit warm because I've been in this room a little bit longer, and that sun is absolutely cutting into this room, making it a little bit more difficult for us to see what's happening. But thankfully, as we've gotten a little bit closer to fall, as we've gotten a little bit closer to winter, the sun is beginning to set very, very much faster as shadows are engulfing the rest of the pitch. Both teams entering the final huddle. Officials making sure the nets are okay. The field official just standing at half field ready for both teams to get going. Lions break out. Scott still ready to go. And again, Grant, you mentioned the first half offense would be a key. I'm going to have to agree with you there, but I'm also going to have to say if you're going to bury them, you have to bury them early. If you want that first goal, you need to score at least 2. This Lions offense has come out in the second half and just been unable to make those connections. I think this Lions offense is at its best when it's catching you off guard, and it certainly can do that with its speed.
Yeah, and they score in bunches a lot of the time. Austin had 2 goals in the span of 16 seconds a couple of games ago. I think it was against Asbury, so they definitely have the potential to do that, which is going to be up to them to really dictate their offense and just put some points on the board.
Everybody set for kickoff. Whistle blows, and we are 2 minutes early here at the WAC. Covenant hits a deep ball towards the right corner, and we have our first foul of the afternoon. So quickly, the official setting a precedent on the very first, well, not very first play, but pretty much the very first play, Grant.
Yeah, and these two teams have a history of being extremely physical. There was a lot of cards, I remember, in the match at Covenant last year, so just look for a physical game today.
Taking it is number 24, Tennyson. This one into the box. Covenant trying to keep it in front of them, but it's going to find its way up the hill. And first opportunity for Chase Johnson.
And the big thing to look for, at least on the defensive end, Boris Bostic getting the start. He doesn't usually get a start, but a very physical player on the defensive end, so maybe coach is looking for a bit more physical looks.
That's something that defined this team last year was its physicality, and this Lions team, and this is a plus as well, hasn't been as physical this season. We've seen a lot more discipline, specifically from your defenders like Jacome and Mattis, and as well as the captain Austin as he begins to take it down the near side of the pitch, driving towards the corner. Covenant defense trying to clear this ball, but Davis and Jason all over it. It will be cleared, though, all the way to the midfield part. Mattis tries to sprawl out in front of that one, and now Covenant going deeper into Lion territory. Racing onto that one and putting it out is Tyler Vogt, and it'll be a throw-in for Covenant. We saw right there Jacome was playing a little bit up further, if anything backing up Madison. That's something I would love to see here because I think this Lions defense is very good, but I think it's even better when you have Jacome feeding the offense.
Definitely. He's versatile. You see him in set pieces, you see him on defense, and seeing him up at mid, like you said, is refreshing.
Big throw in here all the way in the box. Jacome, excellent header, clears it. Asin clearing off this route, trying to get this ball in front of him. He gives his defenders a chance to get that out. It's going to be a throw in for Piedmont. I think it was called a handball before anything, so it's going to be set up here. That was a veteran move by Jason Asin. Delroy Mattis, huge ball, going deep towards Covenant. And they'll give Eli Honeycutt his first touch of the day. A lot of long crosses between both squads early on. And both squads' defenses have been able to stand up to the test. Mattis asking for anything from the official, but nothing given. Jacome letting that ball run deep, and a good job by Chase Johnson to come out of net there. A little bit of an interesting play by the Lions defense, but it comes up clean at the moment. And here we see a huge drive for Davis Knight to contend with. It's going to be rolled out and will be a throw-in for Piedmont. I believe the Scots bench thought that was still in, but no. Lions getting an opportunity to throw it in Covenant Scots territory. It'll be Asin. Trying to find Grant. Grant able to get a touch, but not enough to keep it in front of him. Vogt all over this. Now Lions offense having to shift the defense rather quickly. Good job by Boris Bostic to take a little time off the clock there. And now Covenant driving deep. It's Chase Johnson in a one-on-one whistle, and have a stoppage here. It would be Piedmont's ball after that. Johnson taking the short way, going to find James Cash. That one out. Grant trying to keep it in front of him. It's going to be a Covenant ball after Grant was forced into that one. So it'll be a throw-in for Fox Landgren. He'll pass it back to his defense. And now Vogel and Knight both moving into that one. DeSanto trying to loosen that ball up. Jason Asin pushing it deeper. Scott's defense almost was put on the back foot there. It was a good interception by DeSanto to try to get that ball. Chase Johnson now having to contend with another attacker, but a good job by Mattis to stay strong through that one. It will be a throw-in for the Scots, but for right now, the danger is subsided, Grant.
Yeah, Mattis, has a speed advantage on that defensive end. It was just a good job to put it out and preserve some damage and keep Chase Johnson's job a little bit easier.
Daniel Wallace came in a little bit closer to get that one. Mattis right off the side. Lions doing a good job to clear this ball effectively. Vogel puts it on the ground. Got it past Asin. Now Asin has to play back. Bosick chasing this one deep into the corner. It's a cross clear into the box. A cross shot into the box. Mattis able to keep it alive. Vogt spinning it towards Asin. Asin keeps it in front of him. Now the Lions looking to turn over here. Ball not enough. And man, someone took a shot there on the sidelines. Hope they're okay.
Right to the kneecap. Goodness.
Ouch. Bosick trying to find Davis Knight. He'll be out again. Another throw in for the Lions as they move incrementally down the line. Boris will go back to DeSanto, who will find Asin. Asin, a poor touch, trying to find it to Vogel, and now it'll be cleared all the way to the Lions defense and Nathan Jacome. Chase Johnson calls everybody off and keeps it in front of him. Bosick, good header. Bosick again involved, hits it towards the crest. Cash surrounding this one. Covenant a little bit swarmed here as they go towards the left side of the box. Andre Grant all over it. Header by Jacome. Header by Mattis. Keeping it up. Chase Johnson ready for anything. And the keeper comes all the way out to chase this ball out. Henry Parker was watching that one all the way, and it will be a a corner kick for Covenant. Be Cade Tennyson, it appears, taking it. Yes, it is. So first corner of the day, and wanted to mention the stat head-to-head, Piedmont had 65 to Covenant 63. So both these teams evenly matched in the corner as Piedmont's able to clear this one early. Mattis. Knight. Collision, but still trying to keep it in front of him. Knight trying to use some of that footwork, that technical prowess, is unable to keep it in front of him. This one gets past everybody, but thankfully no danger for Chase Johnson as he comes out of net to make that grab. And Grant, I'm not sure if I want to call it offense for Covenant because it seems like they've just been trying. It hasn't been like a well-formulated attack just yet, but the Lions defense has been able to hold strong through a lot of these shots and a lot of this opposition.
Yeah, I would call it control for the Scots. They've just had possession of the ball seemingly this entire game. Lions haven't had a chance to possess it offensively, but Lions, like you said, defense is doing a great job standing up and preventing opportunities.
And that's exactly what you knew you were going to need going into this game. You knew that the defense was going to have to hold strong, and it still has to hold strong. We have a lot of time left here in this first half. Chase Johnson watches that one all the way into his mitts. And like I said, you have a lot of time left in this first half, but the Lions eventually have to find a way to convert. You have to find a way to get this ball out of the midfield and start turning it into a little bit of an attack and pressure the Scots. Grant misses that header. It'll roll out and be a throw-in for the Scots. Foul there. We'll see who it's against. It'll be against Covenant. Grant flew into the air and was knocked down. So we see Set piece well out, right in front of midfield for the captain, Nassim. We know what kind of big boot Jason possesses as everyone begins to fill up the box. Jason Nassim is good and long. Honeycutt as it goes off the crossbar. Davis Knight, bike kick attempt. Jacome just misses, and an excellent clear by Covenant. Lions, an excellent chance there, could not complete it. Banged off the crossbar, banged off the post, and now the Lions have to shift quickly to defense. Excellent job by Austin to put a rock into that momentarily. Vote an excellent slide. Now the Scots have to backpedal here, and it looks like the Lions are going to be able to have time to rebuild the defense. Long cross here. Maybe if it was thought that Colin Vogel was over in that direction, but Vogel back behind the midfield line. Bosick, slide tackle, and a tough one. Not the cleanest of tackle you'll see, and it will be a foul, should be against Piedmont. And a good chance here for the Covenant Scots. This is a great job. This is what the captain does. Jason Austin arguing his case for his teammate. He removed Bosick from the situation immediately and stepped in, but it is going to be a very dangerous set piece for the Scots, Grant.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Austin, he's always going to stick up for his guys. You always see him in the weight room with a lot of his freshmen trying to lead him on, and right now on the pitch trying to lead his team on.
Chip attempt here. Header. Johnson, a punch, able to save. Great job by Chase Johnson. That's why they like him in net. He's very agile. It adds an extra foot, if you will, when he's able to make those jumps. Lions not out of the woods just yet, as another corner kick is brought upon by Covenant. Tennyson in once more. Straight along the ground. Mattis able to block. There's a pile up in the box and another ricochet as the Scots continue to try to put this one through, but Chase Johnson collapses on top of this one and the chance is over. So, Grant, we didn't get a chance to talk about that offensive opportunity by the Lions, but that's really how they make their money, right? The set pieces, especially when set up by Austin, that's where you're able to get through. And unfortunately, the Lions maybe the Scots cluttered the box a little bit too much for them. Hang on now as Vogel tries to get something started in the box here. Beautiful technicality by Colin. It'll be blocked out and be a corner.
And yeah, like you said, that's how they make their money. That's their bread and butter. And that ball was about, I want to say, a foot from making it in about 3 times in that same possession. So if I could sum that up in one word, it'd just be unfortunate.
So Davis Knight sets up in the corner. Lions looking to score the first one of the evening. This one short on the ground to Colin Vogel outside. Vogel takes a shot. It's going to fly deep towards the corner. And it'll be a goal kick for Honeycutt.
Mattis with some choice words to Davis Knight. I mean, you got to have some sort of communication. You can already tell in this game the competition is different. The grid is different. This is a late season conference game between two teams that always seem to butt heads.
You're exactly right. And this is the second to last game for the Lions. They, of course, play again Friday. That'll be their senior night, senior day, however you want to say it. But just a couple more games before you head into conference tournament action. Lions sitting 4th right now, playing against the number 1 team in the conference. This could be a huge statement going into the tournament. Lions, of course, knocked out in the first round last year by the second place Maryville Scots. They want redemption. They feel that they were better than Maryville last year. And this year, while they haven't played up to the heights of last year, they do have a great team in front of them as Vogel flies out. Honeycutt out of net, and Vogel misses just wide of the post.
That's the recipe. like we said at the top of the broadcast, Vogel and Knight, this offense runs through them. It's kind of just hit it down and hope they can catch it, and Vogel did catch it. But Honeycutt, good positioning to try to cut off that corner because he knew that's exactly where Vogel was going to go.
Absolutely. And Honeycutt didn't make a save there, but he did come up and he blocked the sideline of that. And, of course, forced Vogel to go a little bit more left than I'm sure Colin would have wanted to. This one towards the far side corner. I believe that'll be an offsides call on Covenant, first of the day. That's something that's really plagued Piedmont, is the offsides, because of Davis Knight, Colin Vogel, and at times Keith being so fast. Austin, set piece, high kick, and a good touch by Knight to keep it in front of him. Unfortunately, that back pass goes right off the shoulder of a Covenant Scott. Austin, opportunity here, chugging along, tries to burn one through the left side, but it'll lead to a goal kick for Eli Honeycutt.
I like the decision for Austin to just go ahead and put one up because the Lions haven't had a lot of chances, so you got to find some way to break through those cracks. And then this second half is going to be a good conversation at halftime, I think, from Coach, because they're going to need to really control the ball offensively. It's been an issue so far.
We've seen some good things from them. The offense, and this is what I meant when the Lions are at their best. They're the ultimate opportunists. They can find those breaks and they can use their speed to their advantage. Unfortunately, they just can't find those breaks as usual because this offense relies so much on speed. Taking the fall there was Luke Laughlin for the Covenant Scots. He appears to be okay, though. I believe the foul was attributed to Cash. There'll be another long set piece here for Covenant. It's a good one. Chase Johnson flies out of net and grabs it, stopping that handily. This one booted high in the sky. Vogel tries to get a touch on that one. A little bit too tough to trap the ball. It'll be a throw in for the Scots. Vogel. Now Knight pacing this ball towards midfield. Jacomb's up a lot. Good block up by Bosick. And I believe that'll be a call for Piedmont. Don't know exactly what it was. Couldn't exactly see what the officials signaling could have been, but Vogel keeping it in between. Austin taking a shot and it's going to go wide. So we've seen Austin move into that attacker role rather than being in the midfield role a lot. I do like Austin in that scenario because he has such a big boot, because he is able to put a lot of power behind his kick. Unfortunately, Austin just not as technical as a Davis Knight or a Colin Vogel.
And he hasn't been able in his two shots. We haven't had a very large sample size today, but he hasn't really gotten them up. They've kind of been on the ground, very line drive-ish. So he needs to get those up and really use that power to maybe hit the upper 90.
Vote over to Jason. Seen huge clear trying to find Andre Grant. Grant able to keep a head on it, and it's going to roll to DeSanto at midfield. This one tracking back again. Here's James Cash. Cash entangled in a difficult slide. No call by the referee. Jacome trying to find Jason. That'll be out. It'll be a throw in for Piedmont. Bosick wasting no time trying to find somebody. This one kicked up very high. This one skewed through. Now the Lions getting put on the defensive. Good job by Mattis to close off that route. Mattis able to steal it away. Fantastic job by Delroy, cutting up through the attackers. Still trying to make it through. The third one, however, is going to be there to receive that one. This one put up through. Knight trying to find Vogel. Here come the afterburners. Vogel has to put on the brakes. Calling a chance here. Shoved off by the defender, Brody. Lions still an opportunity. Bosick, huge cross, trying to find Grant. Grant has to get there before this ball's out. It's going to be intercepted instead by Landgren. DeSanto to Vogt. Vogt, huge cross. It's going to go into the arms of Eli Honeycutt.
Lions finally, can get a break. I guess 20 minutes now in, 25 to go in the first half. And this has just been a track meet, but it's 0-0 still.
Absolutely. And this is a Lions squad that was held to 0 last time out against Belhaven. They lost 1-0. So the defense has been good. In fact, as Covenant begins another attack here. This one blocked down, looked like Jacome able to get a touch on that one, and a good clear by the Lions defense momentarily. But in their past few matches, they've just allowed 2 goals, 1 to Huntington, none to Toccoa Falls, and 1 to Belhaven. 6 goals offensively across that. This one well to the outside. Should be a throw-in for the Lions. Looks like Bosick to take it. Boris tries to get to Vogel, and Vogel unable to keep it in front of him. It'll roll out and be a throw-in for the Scots. Mattis finds himself in the midst of that, but it'll roll out and be a corner kick. So just already the 3rd corner kick from Covenant here in this first half. The Lions just having 1, and really just a few attacking opportunities really pulled together, as Covenant has again controlled the ball for the majority of this contest. This one a little long. Jacome able to stand up strong through that one. It was a harsh shove and a harsh run-in he was able to endure. Mattis taken down. It'll be a foul. Mattis has really stepped up today. We usually see him around the midfield role, but it seems like him and Jacome maybe have swapped spots. Mattis has really been the defending that last line on the near side part of the pitch, him and along with Boris Bosick. And they've really played great defense this evening as Davis Knight watches that one run into the boot of Eli Honeycutt, Grant.
Yeah.
Knight trying to round it off. Vogel moving into the box as well. And Knight taken down. Call by the referee. And that will be a foul. So Lions, a huge opportunity to move up 1-0. Of course, it's going to be Jason Asin taking it. Honeycutt prepares for the PK. Asin looking to put the Lions up 1-0 in the first half of this contest. Asin fires, and Honeycutt a magnificent save. Honeycutt guessed right. Asin went for the lower quarter of the goal and blocks it for now, but the Lions still threatening with a corner kick here by Davis Knight. Knight, high cross, Mattis, a header, and it'll be caught by Eli Honeycutt once again. Mattis finds Cash. Now Cash having a wheel back here, trying to shoot it to Grant. Covenant looking to feed here. A lot of back passing between the defenders and the midfielders. To the near side, near the pole. Huge cross, Jacome, a header, keeps it up. And a good job by DeSanto to effectively clear this one. Grant, Eli Honeycutt's been very good for this Covenant Scott squad this evening.
I think good is an understatement. Lions have really only had about 3 chances to score here. That most recent one, obviously, by Asin, and just a great reaction by Honeycutt. Normally, those PKs are a gamble, and he went to the right side, which was the bottom left corner. But otherwise, he's just played flawlessly when he's had the chance.
Asin. Jason turning on a dime, gives it off to Bosick, back to Jason. I've seen a floater trying to find Davis Knight now, player for Covenant, down on the ground in a bit of pain. As we'll have a stoppage here. Couldn't get an eye on the number. That is Daniel Wallace. Appears to be better here. Maybe just a cramp for him. $20 minutes, 19 seconds left. Throw in here for Parker Rohde. Tennyson finds that, and now Grant wheels off that route and closes off any hope of an attack on that ball. Asin, good slide tackle, able to put foot first on the ball. This one deep into Covenant Scott's territory. However, Grant not there to receive it. Chacon keeps it in front. Cash tried to find Grant. Covenant beginning to pose a threat here. Johnson comes out of net. And as much as we talk about how dangerous this Scots offense is today, Chase Johnson hasn't necessarily been in the middle of it. He has been very much helped out by his defense.
He's only really had one true save. The rest he just had to come out of goal to get. So Lions, not able to possess the ball, but they're keeping it out of that box, and they're taking away any, close looks that the Scots have.
Bosick. Boris tripped up. Be a foul. Tyler Vogt getting set up here, and he'll relinquish that to Jason Asin. Asin set up deep. He's going to go the short way to Boris. Bosick looking for Cash. This one all the way back. Chase Johnson will have it easy. Vogt putting it on the ground for Grant. No whistle by the official, as there'll be a throw-in for Covenant. Jacome. Knight unable to keep it in front of him, a rarity. As now Covenant begins to penetrate into Lion defense. And it'll be a call against Asin. Foul right at the crest. Right near that pole, it'll be a throw in for Piedmont. Or excuse me, for Covenant. Lions crowding up that part of the corner. And so Covenant opts for a cross here. Swinehart, a shot that goes well wide of the post. Goal kick for the Lions. Cash to DeSanto. Cash taken out, and it'll be a foul in favor of the Lions. So in terms of the foul war, the Lions are staying relatively clean, but they've gotten some very opportune fouls, I'll say, that the Scots have gifted them. Unfortunately for them, they've just been unable to take advantage.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is due to, like we said, they're very opportunistic on offense, and they work very quick. They're pretty kind of, I guess, they thrive on fast breaks is a good way to put it, and when they've had the chance to slow down, the offense just really hasn't been there.
Looks like Luke Laughlin taken down on that. He seems to be okay. Scene fires one into the box, and an excellent header by Jackson Henson puts it out. It'll be a throw-in for Piedmont, but a good job by Henson to read that well by Jason. Delroy's going to come in and throw it in. Jacome in the box. Lions trying to use a little bit of their height. This one angling right towards Nathan. And it's just over his head, and a definitive clear here by the Scots. Good job by Vogt to put it on a header and keep this Lions attack alive, perhaps. However, Covenant's turning it on its head. This one driving deep. And a good job by Bosick to fly in front of that one and cause a little bit of disruption. Henry Parker almost ran all the way. Vogel and Bosick. Bosick's going to put it all the way up there. Knight flies up. It'll be a throw-in. Davis hasn't had a lot of show this evening, but we know what he can do if he's left alone, and Covenant certainly knows that as well, hence the reason why he's been in such coverage. Davis deep into the corner. Hard shove. Knight able to stay up, though. It will roll out, and it will be a throw-in for Piedmont once again. Lions will take some seconds of the clock and wait for Mattis to come up. Nathan Jacome once again entering the box. Jacome settling under it. Goes for the header. Back behind. Off the crossbar. Beautiful shot by Grant in the upper 90. The Lions take the lead. A great assist by Jacome that nearly went in, banged off the crossbar, and Grant comes in out of nowhere to finish the job.
You knew those close opportunities were going to come through somehow. And Grant just perfect positioning, perfect timing, perfect spot. Put the Lions up 1-0.
That's exactly what you needed. You wanted to take an early lead here against Covenant, but now you can't get too high too early. You have to fall back. This is a very tough team. They're going to respond at some point, but how are you going to respond to their response?
Thankfully, the Lions defense has been on. 13 minutes left, so they've helped the offense out a lot without having to have them play from behind.
Foul there against Piedmont. Scott set up for a set piece right in front of the midfield line. This one hit on a line. Jacome able to play it perfectly. And Bosick puts it into the ground. Scott's putting up an attack here. Johnson caught a little off foot, and there's the response. The Scots able to respond rather quickly. A beautiful sequence of passes. And the Lions caught off guard as it's now 1-1, and that's something that has really bitten the Lions here in this season, is that they're able to score, but they cannot keep the other squad down.
Not even a minute later, Eric. My goodness. And like you said, that was Perfect execution by the Scots. I mean, coach's dream.
Absolutely. It's why I said you can't get too high too soon. This is a very, very tough Scott squad. There's a reason they're leading the conference. There's a reason they're undefeated in conference play. And so you knew you would most likely need more than one goal to put this one away, but now it's absolutely certain. Vogel. This one through, trying to find Grant, but it finds a sea of blue. A little bit of miscommunication there by Mattis and Jacome, but thankfully no immediate threat, as Mattis will go all the way back to Chase Johnson, who puts it well past midfield trying to find Jason Ossine. Bosick. Long ball to Cash. Deflection, DeSanto. Bosick taken out. And that'll be a foul against the Scots. Bosick a little unable to get off the ground quick, and now the referee having a discussion with Whit Tisdale. That shot by Cade Tennyson of Covenant, assisted by Tyler Swinehart. Official having a lengthy discussion here. Lions getting another opportunity rather quickly. We've seen a lot of offense here in the past, not even 5 minutes, Grant. Both of these squads are really firing at all cylinders, trying to land as many punches before they go back into the second half. Ossine, beautiful through ball, but another great defensive header. Chipitan here to the right side. Shot. Johnson, diving save as he comes out of net. And I mentioned Grant, we've seen a lot of offense here recently. Seems like both squads being a little less stingy with the ball and really trying to play through.
I also think they kind of figured out how each defense is playing, and also maybe could be a bit of fatigue setting in for these defenses, because the defenses have been playing at their highest gear. Like, there has been no stops for them. So both defenses were bound to give up at least one goal at some point.
You mentioned the fatigue setting in. Covenant the first to press the substitution button. As they brought in some new blood. Knight taken down, but able to spring back to his feet rather quickly. And that'll be a throw-in for Covenant. So we have another pair of substitutions come in for Covenant. William Campbell came in for... Noah Jones came in for William Campbell. And we'll have another pair we'll tell you about here momentarily. Grant able to steer clear, and they're backed up by DeSanto. Here's Ossine. Davis Knight able to play it off a thigh. Now the Scots beginning to close off this attack, and a very tough tackle by Tyler Vogt. It will be a foul against him. Jackson Bostrom, number 16, taken down on that. He appears to be okay. We've seen a lot of fouls, a lot of aggressive slide tackles in this contest. I respect the official for not pulling out the cards early. However, we have seen some very aggressive ones meant to really stop play. So I'm wondering how far along the referee is going to get before he begins to go to the pocket.
Yeah, the last thing you want to have is a late game moment where there is a questionable call, especially in a close, hard-fought game like this one is.
Bosick, excellent clear. Knight trying to use a little bit of speed to get there, but unfortunately for him, he's going to be stopped by Daniel Wallace. It'll be a throw-in for the Scots. Mattis immediately having to drop back here. Mattis deep in the corner, has one guy to pass to, and it's Chase Johnson. Johnson able to put the brakes on that one. Scott swarming that one effectively. It'll be a throw in for them. Covenant looking to fill up the box, but right before them are the Lions. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left here in this first half. Jacome. Excellent job by Davis Knight to steal this one away. Now Knight trying to use his speed, trying to find Colin Vogel. Vogel's quick. Vogel's flying. Vogel now has to stop now that he has the ball in his possession. Davis Knight's here to assist him. But Colin has to take it out and clear the box momentarily. Here comes Grant trying to fly in, but it is going to be a errant pass. It'll be a goal kick for the Scots, I like that attack there by the Lions. I like that idea by Colin Vogel to not turn it over to the defenders, but instead see if his team can find a better opportunity.
Yeah, and I got to say, Covenant, they watched their film, they did their scouting, because Knight and Vogel have been shut down. They're double-teaming Knight. He hasn't really been able to get anything going, and whenever Vogel gets those quick chances to beat those defenders down, the Covenant Scots are still in good position to stop him and really just shut down his speed.
Substitution for Piedmont. Nico Eberhardt comes in. And someone has lost a shoe. I'm not sure who, but somebody has lost a boot down there on the pitch. And I was wondering how long we were going to get before we stopped play. You can't play without that for too long. It's got to be Mattis. And Mattis was the real focal point of that stop. So he was playing with just one boot on that entire time. That's admirable.
As an athlete, there's not much you can do. You just got to keep going. I had to deal with that in a basketball game one time. It's a fun feeling, I got to say.
Official coming back just to move the ball back a little bit more. There you go. I think he's actually just giving it to Chase Johnson. Now he's going to roll it in front of him. Asin, header, trying to find Vogel. That one planted right into the ground. Now Colin and Davis trying to swarm this one. And it's going to be a throw-in for Covenant. Scott's wasting no time. Asin able to disrupt. Throw in for the Scots once more. Vogel and Eberhardt swarming this one. Now Mattis right on this ball, able to get possession, and it's going to be able to be kept out. A good job by Mattis to close that off and force a goal kick for Piedmont. Haven't said that a lot, or haven't had a lot of goal kicks here recently.
Yeah, it's been a lot of midfield play, but Delroy Mattis just playing tremendously in the first half. Just a huge focal point of that defense, and a lot of that is, like we keep mentioning, the position switch really between him and Jacome.
Nathan finds Davis. Davis able to get a touch on that one. No call by the referee. All clean here. Chase Johnson will come out of net and make the grab. Johnson searching for somebody here with 4 minutes left. Huge cross here. Good job by Mattis to head it out. Grant to Davis. Davis, smart, able to let that go through. Plays it on a forehead. Now trying to keep it in front of him. He has Vogel on the wing should he choose him. He does. Colin now on the near side. Get deep into the corner. Vogel cutting through the box. Vogel goes to Davis. Davis trying to stage an attack. Right there is DeSanto. DeSanto able to block it momentarily. Here's Jason Osina. Shot from outside the box. It bangs off the post, and the Scots clear it momentarily. Covenant now flipping on its head. Excellent tackle and excellent slide by Tyler Vogt. Seconds ticking down here. You can feel the intensity beginning to rise between both squads as the Lions look for another attack. Davis in the box. Here comes Honeycutt out. Tough tackle. Down is Honeycutt. Vogel trying to play that in front. No call by the official as Knight and Honeycutt collided. Eberhardt and DeSanto flew through the air trying for a header there, and it will be a throw-in for Piedmont. Just 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Mattis burning a couple seconds here. Perhaps strategically goes for the throw-in. Lions scored on this last time. Vogel a little bit short trying to get to it, and there will be a foul. Vogel colliding with a defender, trying to get that high kick up. I believe a knee might have connected. And it looks like Tyler Swinehart able to get up from that, albeit with a little bit of a limp.
That one really came in pretty late from our vantage point. And Vogel, you could see, put the arms down, wasn't trying to hit him, but it just happened that the bodies collided.
Mattis jumps up for a header. Vogel trying to find Davis Knight, but flying in is Swinehart, getting a little bit of retribution, as now Tyler drives deep for the Scots. Mattis. Vogt. Unable to clear that through. It'll be stolen away by Covenant. Asin powering through, trying to find that's Cash. Cash powering through, trying to find Grant. Grant gives it back to James. James Cash deep. Tackle is good. It's clean, but it will be a throw-in for Piedmont. Lions need to find somebody to throw this ball in. Just 40 seconds left. Mattis taking his time. Lions really looking to close this out with a goal. Mattis searching for Jacome once again. Jacome blocked by a header of the defense. And Mattis skyrockets one out. And it'll be a goal kick for Honeycutt. In the final 10 seconds here, Grant. Lions will put this up in the air, and we will finish the first half all at a draw, 1-1. We saw some incredible offense, but more accurately, I think we saw a lapse in defense and a lapse in the mind game for the Lions, as I feel that this game should be 1-0 still, but this Covenant Scots, a good job by them to advance upon a lapse for the Lions.
Yeah, it kind of caught them while they were down. Just a perfect offensive setup for that lone goal for them. I mentioned to start this before the opening kick that the Lions needed to keep up with the Scots. That's exactly what they're doing. It's 1-1. Like you said, should be 1-0, but they're getting a lot of production from players that aren't normally their stars or their main producers. Delroy Mattis, perfect example. Their stars, however, like Jacome and Knight, really have just been shut down. So they got to be able to find something to get everyone on the same page and start really gelling as a team for the second half.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break here. Suggest you do the same and come back for more exciting CCS action after the break. 1-1 at halftime. You're watching Piedmont Lions Soccer on YouTube. Welcome back to the WAC, everybody. Eric Edmondson alongside Grant Prather this evening. Shaylee Gallegos on the camera for us. We ended the first half 1-1, Grant, but as we look at the stat sheets, it is as tied as the score is right now.
Yeah, everything is just about dead even. 11 shots each, 2 saves for the Scots, 3 for the Lions. This has just been a game where it's just going to come down to the wire. You just know it. Such a close battle, so much grit between both of these teams, and we're going to have to see a couple Lions players step up, like we mentioned before half. Jacome and Knight have had a quiet day. Normally they're some of the focal points, so we'll have to see what happens.
And we noticed as well the Lions winning the possession war, 52% to 48 as we're underway here at 7:01. Lions were able to really control possession towards the second half of the first half, if you will, whereas in the first half the Scots were really dominating possession, 15 minutes or so did they have it for that long, but the Lions able to steal it away from them. So they get started here in the second half. Lions coming out the gate swinging, trying to put one on the board very early. Asim tripped up by 4 defenders there in the box. Cash back to Jacome. Chase Johnson still in the net for the Lions. Cash finding DeSanto. Now Tyler Vogt having a race to this one quickly. Finds Boris Bosick. So Boris come out of the game towards the end of the second half, just to give himself a breather. Nico Eberhardt came in. Throw in for Piedmont. Vogt. Deep ball. Trying to perhaps find Grant. Cash watching this one. It's not going to roll out. He's going to have to wheel this off to Andre. Grant keeping it in front of him. Going to have to pass back here to Nathan Jacome. Jacome, a good clear, trying to find Davis Knight. Knight flying in, trying to get a touch on that one. Now Grant's turn. Grant puts the brakes on that one. Now flips it up to Davis. Haven't seen a lot of Davis this evening, but we know what kind of technicality he has at his disposal. Here he's in a foot race. Jacome caught off guard a little bit there, but a good job by him to slam on the brakes and clear that off. Things almost got a little interesting there for Chase Johnson. Huge ball trying to find Vogel. Vogel searching for Asin. Asin unable to keep it in front of him. Plays it off the back side of his foot. Vogel spins and kicks up turf, trying to disrupt that one. Mattis playing deep. He'll opt to pass it back to Johnson. Vogt finds Boris once more. Vogel, opportunity here, gets Honeycutt off his stride and misses. Just wide. Vogel has had multiple chances this evening. He hasn't been able to put one in the back of the net, but it's not for risk of trying.
And it is good to see that offense clicking early to start the second half, because the last thing you wanted to do was start out on the wrong foot, and Lions already somewhat controlling the pace of this second half. Hopefully we'll not see what Covenant did in the first bit of the first half, which was kind of lose possession of the ball as it went on.
Very much, Grant. Mattis tripped up. No call by the official. Now Jacome having it go in. And an excellent tackle and an excellent grab by Chase Johnson. There is the whistle from the official. Surprised at that no call from Mattis. Usually the referee, he's been very on point with some things this evening. Just slipped up with that one there, but thankfully isn't going to hurt the Lions. That boot by Cash well out. Good job by Chase Johnson in that scramble to stay low to the ground. It was going to be a high shot, and he was able to corral it before really Covenant was able to get a shot off. They were still trying to develop something. There was no well-contested shot, but a good job by Chase nonetheless. Mattis, once again, trying to stay on this ball. Keeps it in. Boris, right near the line. Scott's going for a cross, and Chase Johnson makes the grab. Sends this one high into the air. Vogel, tough touch. Looking for Tyler Vogt. Vogt right in line. DeSanto trying to find Grant. Rolls off the top of the foot of one of Covenant's defenders. Grant cutting through. Now runs into a little bit of opposition. Vogt able to stick the leg out, but unfortunately for him, Covenant blazes right past it. Lions' last line of defense now having to step up. Here's Cash shot. Johnson block. Johnson catches. Good save by the goalie. No handball called by the official. That'll help the Lions out. DeSanto able to wrestle this one free. Finds Davis, who finds Grant. Grant out on a wing. Grant racing towards the corner. He's got speed. He tries to find Davis. Davis caught a little off. It'll be a well put out ball and be a throw in for the Lions. So first real opportunity to kind of take a breath here. Offense for Covenant Scots has had a couple of great looks at Chase Johnson, but a good job by Johnson to stay with it and not bend. DeSanto, deep ball, finding Vogel. Vogel runs into a defender. Defender down on the ground, and the official will still let them play through. He's back up and running. Just took a hard tackle there from Vogel. Not sure if you can call that a tackle, more like a collision. Honeycutt. Excellent job by Knight, but not enough to keep it in front of himself or at least open an opportunity for himself. Vogel trying to stick with this attack though. Colin Vogel alone over there trying to duel with a duo of defenders. He's able to escape, trip up. No call by the official, but it will be put out. Or excuse me, I think there is going to be a call. Couldn't hear the whistle exactly. I believe referee might have been facing the opposite direction. So there will be a free kick here for Piedmont. Again, Aussine's going to take it. Huge opportunity here for the Lions. They all line up in the box. Aussine raises the hand, delivers it a little bit too low to the ground as it's popped up well high by a defender. Good bike opportunity there, or attempt, I should say, by Mattis, it looks like. DeSanto tried to find his man, but it will be put out by Aussine and be a throw-in for Covenant. Excellent job and an excellent trap by Vogt, who clutches the upper part of the right leg as he writhes on the turf. I think he might have just caught a cramp there. He's flexing out the leg as so.
I think when he went for that tackle, knees might have collided with the Scots, which is the reason why he was clutching that knee, because when stuff like that happens, there's an immediate, I guess, feels like a bruise is being pushed down when that happens, so hopefully he's okay.
Header by Bosick trying to keep it in, but it's going to be a throw-in for Covenant. Another throw-in for the Scots as they begin to incrementally move their way down the pitch. Jacome. Big clear here. Looking for Vogel. Vogel trying to keep it in front of him, but the pass was well out already. Or well on its way out, I should put. Boris, huge clear. Knight. Vogel pressing his way up, trying to find Grant, and it'll be intercepted. Good pass idea from Colin. Good header by Vogel. Mattis able to continue to put the Scots on the back foot burner. Asin takes a tumble. Was unable to force a touch there by the Scots, but he flies in here and he's able to get a touch of his own. It'll be a foul against Covenant. So Piedmont awarded a free kick here. Didn't see anything particularly egregious. Mattis goes the short way. He'll go to DeSanto. Mattis flies this one to find Vogel. Vogel able to keep it in. Mattis has to hop up quickly. Chase Johnson sees one opportunity. Good job by Chase. He noticed that Mattis was slow to get up after that, and he comes out of net to put that one forward. I believe Scott's tried to throw that in from the wrong location. They were a little bit further back, or excuse me, official placed them a little bit further back. Shot here, Johnson able to get a fingertip on that one, and the Scots miss an opportunity. No fingertips by Chase, perhaps maybe a little bit thankfully. He was unable to get that tip, and the Scots miss a wide open one. Albeit maybe it was going to be a bit difficult for them.
Yeah, a sigh of relief from Chase Johnson, Lions defense, Lions bench, fans, everybody was, on the edge of their seat for that one. That was just about as close as it's going to get.
No call by the official. DeSanto has to pick himself back up off the turf. Vote. Now all the Lions shifting to defense. Good job by Bosick to stand up strong and brave a tackle. Bosick still down. But Lions still trying to stage an offensive attack here. Haven't had one in a minute. Vogel unable to clear that one through. Davis Knight tries to stop it on a dime. It'll be a throw in for him anyway. Grant. Good pressure. Now he has to flip back, try to keep this in front of him, and colliding with Asin, by Cash, who tried to keep it through. Cash motions for the official, asking for some sort of foul, but none to be found. Throw in for Covenant Scots, who have controlled a lot of the downfield possession in this game. Lions have been able to really be midfield. They've been more or less been defending in their own area, as looks like they're going to have to do that right now, right here. Chase Johnson catches that one directly to him. Shot by Cade Tennyson, who scored the other goal this evening for Covenant. Ricochet there, huge block by Laughlin. Johnson awarded a goal kick here. And Grant, we've seen a little bit of stagnation for this Lions offense. They haven't been able to feed the top. What are you looking for the Lions to change here?
You need to find some way for the Covenant to make a mistake. You need to start putting more pressure on them, start playing up, maybe putting double teams on, because the Lions do thrive on those fast breaks that are created by turnovers and by good defense, and that's how their points are created. That's how they want to go up 2-1.
Also would like to emphasize there's no corner kicks for the Lions just yet, and there's no throw-ins on the really attacking side where they can really slow the game down. No set pieces, no nothing. Covenant has been in full control here in the second half. Good job by DeSanto for a clear. Finds Grant. Grant, an off touch, trying to find Vogel. Vogel right back to Grant. Grant slides and gets it to Davis Knight. Now Lions looking for a turnover here. Colin Vogel trying to use some speed to his advantage, but double coverage for him. It'll get stolen away by Covenant again. Piedmont awarded a throw in. It'll be Cash taking it. Scots moving their way down the far side of the pitch. It'll be a throw in for Covenant. Or excuse me. Hang on now. Yeah, there's a throw in marker. Not sure what took our official down on the sideline to raise the flag, but it is a throw-in, should be a throw-in for Covenant. Another throw-in. Scott send this one high into the air towards the near side part of the box. Cash and Grant surrounding this one. Jacome now stands in the way. Covenant clearing the box here, goes for the shot. Excellent job by Tyler Vogt to put it out, but it will be a corner kick for the Scots and a real opportunity here in the second half. 28:45 left. Boris and Vogt crowding the net along with Johnson. Scots fly in for that one, and a beautiful bike will put the Scots up. An incredible shot by Covenant puts them up 2-1 in this contest. My goodness. What a job. That one by Jonathan Welsh, number 25. Not a lot you could do against that, Grant. But again, the Lions are put in a position where they have struggled in the second half of not being able to develop anything offensively.
Yeah, that slow offense puts a lot of pressure on your defense. It makes them more tired. It gives them way too many opportunities to try and defend. And that one, just a slight miscommunication, I guess, by the Lions defense. And Chase Johnson, for the first time in this game, well, second time technically, was caught completely flat-footed. And
a huge tip of the cap to Jonathan Welsh. That's not an easy shot to take in the slightest. And tremendous skill on his part to put his team up. But Lions looking to answer back much like Covenant did after the Lions scored the opening goal here in this contest, and the fourth offsides call against Covenant, trend that we've seen against them all evening.
Yeah, they already had 3 at halftime. Lions, Cusack in the offsides category. So, I mean, playing pretty conservative. We mentioned how Vogel and Knight tend to do that. There's been no offsides really called.
Chase Johnson flies out and boxes it out. Scott's moving rather quickly here, trying to go down the line. This one right in front of Jacome. Huge shot from well outside, needed a lot of power. And there will be a foul called against Covenant. Cash down on that one, but he gets back up quickly. Tennyson arguing his case with the official. But no path for him to get the official to see his side of things. Huge ball trying to find Grant. It does. Davis Knight Been searching for a moment from him all game long. No call from the official at all. Didn't give it even a peace of mind. Austin able to get a touch. Heavy touch trying to find Vogel. DeSanto keeping it on the chest. Finds Vogt. Now to Boris Bosick. Bosick misplays it. Now has to keep it away from the attackers. Tough tackle will be a throw in for Covenant. Cash. Here's Johnson, another opportunity. It bangs off the crossbar. And an excellent body block by Tyler Vogt. Cash trying to go deep to find Davis Knight. And it'll be put out again. Vogel playing all the way back towards midfield, pulling back the attack completely from the Lions. But here's Austin trying to develop one, gets into a swarm of defenders. He stands up strong, still trying to get this ball away. There's a takedown right outside the box, no call by the referee. Header, and Covenant crosses. Boris tries to find Vogel, and Vogel tries to slide to get there. Grant, it seemed like the Lions had an attack there brewing, but instead of continuing to push forward, be aggressive, the Lions instead took a step back and see if they could continue an attack in a different way towards the middle of the field. But what we've said multiple times for this broadcast is that this team thrives on their fast breaks.
And it's an interesting call when you're down one. I feel like you would want to put as much pressure on, and you would want to push it as far into the box and put as much pressure on Eli Honeycutt as you can, but I guess Vogel was looking for something different.
Vogel trying to find Grant. A long pass, no through ball there, as it'll roll all the way to the communications tent on the opposite side of the pitch. Mattis puts it all the way back, and we get another goal kick here for Eli Honeycutt. Honeycutt, you mentioned it, Grant, has had little to no pressure here in this second half. The Lions just unable to continue an offensive run when it comes to playing in the second 45 minutes.
Yeah, very minimal shots this second half. Already just about 20 minutes in, 24 minutes about left, and he's had an easy day besides that one PK from Wasim, which was a beautiful save. But Covenant's offense and their defense have both been playing up to par.
Chase Johnson able to clear that through. Cash. Taken down momentarily there. Good tackle. Jacome pacing this one, able to keep it up and stay up, and a foul's going to be called against Nathan Jacome there.
And we said that the officiating was consistent in the first half, and we mentioned cards coming out at halftime when we were doing our little discussions, right? And the officiating has been, I guess, inconsistent in the second half.
In the second half, now, nothing against this official. This official has been very good. However, a call like I'm not sure if I agree with that one in the slightest here, and it's a very advantageous spot for Covenant to really look to bury this game away. Lions set up for a wall. Tennyson, he's already got one goal on the day. He's looking for a second. Lions looking to defend that. Johnson, he's able to. It goes right towards him. Didn't have to move a muscle, did Johnson. And now Chase has an interesting decision. Do you send the ball deep or do you go short to see if you can apply pressure? He goes the short way to Cash, and Cash tries the through ball to try to find Andre Grant. Knight plays back a little bit here and finds Tyler Vogt. Vogt trying to find Colin Vogel on the left wing. Vogel trying to press his way through the middle, runs into triple coverage. No call by the referee once more. That was a clean tackle. Bosick unable to get a touch on that one. Cash able to recover quickly and wheel this one out. It'll be a throw-in for Covenant. And you mentioned Grant, we both mentioned coming out of halftime, this was a very even game when it comes to possession. It has not been that here in the second half. And one can be said that Covenant is a very talented squad, and they come out of halftime with a better idea of how this Lions squad is attacking them. But with the way that the Lions played from the opening whistle, you feel like this is a better team than what they're doing right now of just having to constantly play on defense.
I think having an opponent like Covenant where you have to play up is so huge and a great challenge that they really needed after they've been playing out of sync these last couple of games. And the defense has been somewhat out of sync in this second half, but we know we can play good based off of the first half.
Lions will need 2 goals here in the final 20 minutes in order to come away with a victory here. Again, that would just be the second victory in program history against Covenant, a team that has historically dominated the Lions. Their one victory against Covenant came here at the WAC. They're 1-6 here, looking to avoid falling to 1-7. But again, it's going to be a tough hill to climb, especially with how the offense has looked. Throw in for Covenant Scots is put out by Mattis. Knight all the way back, gets a touch on that one. Now Boris has to round this out in the corner. Covenant, another attack, another good press. As they look to turn it around once more. Deep into the corner, Jacome over. Not being aggressive here, instead opting for some technical skill. Header, Johnson. Johnson, the big boot, tries to find Vogel. Vogel able to trap it in front of him and find Davis Knight. Knight pressing his way through 4 defenders. Now goes to Vogel on the outside. Colin Vogel takes a long ball shot attempt trying to find Grant. And it is going to be a corner for Piedmont. And Grant, you have to have a good opportunity for yourself. And honestly, at this point, you have to tie it up with a goal here some way, somehow.
Yeah, and Lions, I mean, if they have a reputation, it's physicality and it's set pieces and corners. These such a good opportunities for them. They tend to capitalize on. They excel in them, to say the least.
Davis Knight, laser, and it's booted out and up. It'll be a throw-in for Piedmont. Davis will take it himself, it appears. He will. Trying to make it to Andre Grant, but throw a little bit too short. This one wheeled, trying to find Ossine, and Ossine crashes into one of the defenders. The captain down on the turf, able to jump back up. Low header by Vogt. Jacome. Be a throw-in for the Scots. And now the Covenant will pull in a substitution here. William Campbell comes out. Foul called. And Piedmont will get one back here.
Lucky break for James Cash. Jumped up, it kind of sold it pretty well. You could probably get an Oscar for that. But, hey, got to do what you got to do when you're down 1.
You have to do what you got to do is exactly the phrase I would use here, Grant. As Jason Ossine loads up for a long free kick. Beautiful curve to this one. Perhaps a little bit too much on the grass as Grant unable to settle under it. This ball will roll out and will be a throw-in for Covenant.
Thought that might have, since Grant kicked it and it looked like it hit a Scott's leg, but I guess we didn't have a good vantage point. That pole was kind of blocking.
The pole is in our way here, and anything could have happened when they crossed between it. No handball called. Everyone motioning for a hand, but none seen by the official. DeSanto takes a shot for well outside the box, and it'll be wide and be a goal kick here for Honeycutt.
Looks like the Lions offense just one step away. It seems like that's been a common theme this year. When you have a play like that, you have to have a second man up with you on these attacks. Normally they're just kind of left alone with the rest of their offense kind of lagging behind, so you got to find those connections and you got to find those setups.
Honeycutt's goal kick is a little short as it will roll past midfield line. Good job by Covenant to keep it in. Tough tackle by Jacome. He's able to win that battle as Vogt will gain possession of it. Boris Bosick on the far side. Looks for Vogel. Vogel has been a step away from breaking through all day, and he'll have to wait at least a few more to take that next step. Cash trying to find Asin, but that ball kicked a little bit too harshly. It'll be another goal kick for Honeycutt and the Scots. Whistle from the referee. It'll be a foul against the Lions. It's a long one, and that'll be well over the net. Chase Johnson was backing up all the way in the net. It kind of worried me there for a second.
He could have hit his head in the corner. That's putting pressure on him, I guess, is one way to say it.
It certainly is. Well, when you're up 2-1, you can afford to make those kinds of shots.
Especially against Chase Johnson, who is at that height deficit. It's not necessarily a bad idea.
Lions on a breakaway here. The ball a little bit too deep and swarmed by the Scots defense. As they'll watch that one roll out, it will be a a goal kick once more for Eli Honeycutt.
Just under 13 minutes now, about 12:45 left in the second half. So Lions, Eric, they have time, but you got to at least run with a sense of urgency here.
And this is where we saw a lot of the offense really pick up in the first half of this game. And Lions really looking to, they don't look to, they need to. They need to find some offensive juice somewhere in the tank. They were shut out last time. They 4-0'd against Toccoa, which of course is not in the conference. It's not your conference opponent. They were able to carve out a victory before that. But they were, and this very much reminds me of the game they played versus LaGrange here at home last time they were at home. As Covenant stages another attack on a fast break, Tennyson taken down in the box. No call by the referee. Lions need to clear this ball, and they will.
Jacome slowed down like he was expecting a call.
Lions perhaps a little bit lucky. Mattis able to stand up through that one. That one was a bit more clean than the previous tackle. Johnson able to collect that on one hop. But as I was saying, this reminds me a lot of the LaGrange game where the Lions scored early on and then were unable to control the LaGrange offense in the second half. Now, one goal in this conference, it can be enough to win it for you, but especially with the strengths and the weaknesses of the Lions, you need to score more than one goal. You just do, especially with the offensive weapons that you do have. But the Lions just have not been able to do that here in the past couple of CCS matchups. And again, this is the top team in the conference. This is a team that is very, very good and will be real players come tournament time. Tennyson again, facing off with Jacome. Nathan trying to clear this one through. Perhaps a little bit cleaner this time. Now again, Covenant goes for one. No call by the referee as both players collide. Long ball here, Vogel trying to turn this into some offense. He'll pass back to Jason Oseen. Takes a little bit of time to recover here. Oseen taken down, and that will be a foul for Piedmont. Piedmont perhaps getting a little bit lucky here, but the referee clearly saw a pull by Covenant, and that's exactly, I understand Covenant's case here. There were multiple chances and harsh tackles that were not called by the referee. However, if you're Covenant, you cannot be that blatant, especially in front of the official.
Definitely, and the last thing Covenant can do is really let that affect their game. That's a tendency for a lot of athletes and players in general, is to focus on what's not going right for you when you can realize you're up one, realize you have to step up on defense and throw those officiating issues out the window.
Again, I understand this frustration by Covenant because there were multiple calls that could have gone their way on the opposite end of the pitch. However, like you said, Grant, you can't let that affect your game, and that's exactly what happened right there with the Scots.
And I think a big part of that frustration is due to the time left, just almost single-digit minutes left. So at this point, at this stage in the game, officiating like that, and we said it was going to come down to moments like this too, officiating like that, as inconsistent as it has been this second half, it's risky, to say the least.
Looks like we'll have a substitution here for the Lions, or a couple at least. Jonathan Ferdinand appears to be getting ready to check in. It looks like Oseen ready to take it for the Lions. Of course it is. It is a good spot for Oseen. Lions looking to tie this one up against the top team in the conference. It's a little low. Honeycutt dives and it's off the crossbar. An excellent shot by the Lions. Unfortunately, just a little bit too high, but even if, I believe Honeycutt might have had that zone covered. He's been excellent this evening.
Honeycutt has the wingspan to reach that top, definitely, and Oseen nearly slotted that, perfectly. That was on the money, just about a foot too high.
So it will be Jonathan Ferdinand checking in for Andre Grant. Ferdinand, of course, towers over the entire field right now, except for maybe Honeycutt. He is a big man. He offers big offense should the ball find him. Vogel watches that one out. I'm banged off the light post. So it's interesting putting in Jonathan Ferdinand in the scenario because it offers up opportunities exactly what's about to happen. Mattis is going to come in for a throw-in. The Lions only go off of a throw-in at this point, and now you have the height of not only Ferdinand, but Jacome as well.
Yeah, 6'5", 6'3", in that mix is huge when you're down a goal.
Mattis, a little bit of a looping throw, didn't have as much teeth on it as you'd like. Jacome passes over to Mattis. Mattis from outside the box goes for a high one. Header's abundant, and Covenant's going to clear. Nico Eberhardt able to put the foot on that one and keep it up in the air. Davis Knight. It appears to be DeSanto down there. And it's going to be a throw-in for Covenant. Just a few minutes left here in this one. DeSanto trying to cross towards the middle. Vogt over to Vogel. Vogel pressing his way through, finds Jason Asin. Asin goes for a shot. It's blocked up in the air. Vogel a header. Goes back a little bit. Asin goes for another shot, but a little bit too much on it as it'll find its way almost up to the Mize. Lions have had multiple offensive opportunities here late, but they have not necessarily had a cohesive attack.
But you have to like the pressure being put on. You know you're right there. You can keep up those opportunities. 7 minutes around then left, so there is still time to at least tie this and give yourself a good shot to end it in the draw.
A draw helps immensely, especially against one of the top teams in the conference. Nico tried for a airborne bike. Unfortunately, could not connect, and now the Scots developing another attack here. Mattis, a tough slide tackle. Whistle goes up, and that is exactly the danger with this physical defense. Shades of the first round playoff exit from the Lions last year versus Maryville.
Mattis shaking his head as with Jacome, but I don't really think there was any question. You and I both saw it. The pull down, the slide tackle, every part of that screamed foul. And at this point in the game, Chase Johnson with that height size disadvantage, it's going to be an interesting PK here because he has that speed, and you know that PKs are gambles. So if he chooses the right side, it works, but any other option will result in a goal for the Scots.
Tennyson gets ready. Covenant looking to ice this game away. Another win on their record. Johnson guessed wrong. Tennyson catches him flat-footed, and the Lions now behind 3-1. A defensive lapse that may very well have cost the Lions here this evening as Covenant continues to roll.
Lapse is a great word. Both the last two goals for the Scots have been off of just quick hitters, catching the Lions off guard. And Lions defense, I mean, you got to give it to them. They've played great all day. There's just been a couple of moments, like 30 seconds in total, where they have not. And Scots have taken advantage up two.
And while the defense can be put into a fault position here, the offense has had abundant opportunities here in the past 10 minutes. They have had multiple chances to strike. Unfortunately, they have just not been able to put it in the back of the net just yet. Ferdinand blocks that one. It'll be a possession throw-in, I believe, for Covenant. It will be. But your offensive weapons of Vogel and Knight were completely silenced this evening to this point. Of course, still minutes left in this game. However, you were unable to develop any real pressure against Honeycutt, especially in the box. The attacks have been mostly from outside. You force a corner here. Davis Knight sets up for it. I think a key player here is Ferdinand. You got to get that ball up, though. Knight has been a little bit low with the corner kicks this evening. This one higher than usual, and Jacome able to put a head on it. Ball still airborne, and cleared by Covenant. Chase Johnson comes all the way out. Johnson's going to take it himself, try to press the issue here and cross it all the way back over to the opposite side of the pitch. Boris Bosick plays it off the forehead, trying to keep it in front of him. He'll go back over to Nico. Eberhardt trying to find Ferdinand. Knight, find on that right wing. Davis Knight pressing through, takes a shot. Excellent block from outside the box. Ball will be out and be a throw-in for Piedmont. Just 4 minutes, 56 seconds, so around 5 left in this game. Shot will go wide. Jacome finds DeSanto. Santo down on the play, but no call by the referee. Vogel pressing his way through, takes a shot, tried to find the connection of Davis Knight on the right wing, but just too tall. Or excuse me, that would have been Asin over on the right wing. Excuse me there.
Looks like DeSanto caught a cramp. Vogt just holding the leg up, trying to stretch it out. The thing about this game for the Lions is I think Eberhardt's been the only substitution. Most of these players have played the full 90, so those effects in like the 88th minute have to be wearing off or wearing on you.
Eberhardt and Jonathan Ferdinand, the only two players in this game to not be on the field for the full 90 minutes. As we saw, Eberhardt came in for James Cash. He came in for Boris Bosick at the end of the first half, and Ferdinand is in for Andre Grant. I do like the swap. I do like Ferdinand in this game. Let me correct that. I love Ferdinand in this game. However, you lose a very important aspect of height, especially when this team has excelled on corner kicks and throw-ins in your game when you take out Andre Grant.
I think the move to put Ferdinand in makes a lot of sense when it's 2-1. When it's 3-1, obviously you can't put Grant in now, but it makes more sense to have Grant in because he's a lot more speed-based. Ferdinand, like you said, built for those more set pieces, not as much putting points up in bunches.
DeSanto has caught a nasty cramp here. It's believed he'll try to walk it off. I'm not sure. There is a substitution that looks like Josiah Tillett for the Lions. So DeSanto's night is done here. He'll exit with a left leg. Hopefully it's just a cramp. He is walking as though it is, and I have no reason to believe it's anything but obviously just DeSanto, one of the players, just like we mentioned, he's played the full, not 90, but he's played the full of this match. So obviously that body is going to cramp up on you sometimes. It just sometimes happens. It's unfortunate. It just does. Ferdinand, using that height to his advantage, wins that header. Josiah Tillett immediately gets some action here. Nico Eberhardt, huge cross, trying to find somebody into the box. Honeycutt comes out of the net, and the keeper for Covenant has had something to do here.
Yeah, it's one of the first times he's touched the ball in the second half. Like we mentioned earlier, a lot of these Lions attacks have been out front outside the box, pretty errant, pretty risky, and to this point in the second half, I think that's one of the rare times that Honeycutt has seen the ball hit his body.
Ball will be out and be a throw-in for Piedmont. Just 3 minutes left here at the whack. Ferdinand trying to win that battle. Tough physical contest it is. It'll be a throw-in for Covenant. Taking it here is Luke Laughlin. Throw in by Bosick. Asin. Deep ball by Covenant towards the corner. And it'll roll out and be a throw-in once again for the Lions. Jacome, good job to put the brakes on that one. Oseen tough through it. Covenant not letting up any on the gas as they look to continue to stage an attack up 3-1. Chase Johnson collects that one. Just a minute 45 left. Knight unable to keep it in front of them. They have dominated Knight all game long. Obviously, he was circled multiple times on the game plan coming into today. As Eberhardt puts that one through. And Grant, if this offense isn't running through Davis Knight, as we've seen multiple times, this offense kind of lives and dies with Davis.
Yeah, and their offense today has relied on set pieces and corners, which have been few. Knight is one of their only ways to score in transition, along with Vogel, and both of those Scots have defended flawlessly.
Knight and Colin Vogel are such big pieces of this offense this year. Has not been the year for them. It'll be a goal kick for Honeycutt. As with 40 seconds left, the Scots will gain the first possession here and look to just run this out. Grant, I feel like we've seen this game so many a times for the Lions, where you get the big goal early and you're just unable to continue to push the pressure or push the envelope in the second half of the game. That's exactly what happened. They have let 2 goals come by, one on a fantastic bike by Welsh, and the other on a PK by Tennyson. Lions trying to score in the final seconds here, but their final attempt will go for naught as the Lions fall to 3-1. Fall by 3-1 to the Scots. The Scots will improve to 4-0 on the year in the conference. Lions continue a little bit of a late season fall, Grant, and the offense right now is not running where it needs to be, especially entering conference tournament play with 1 game left to go.
Yeah, like you said, this looked very similar to the LaGrange game with that offense. I remember you said the word stagnant when you were describing that game earlier, and that was the exact description, I would say, for this game as well. The Piedmont offense, when it's at its best, obviously has multiple facets. But when Davis Knight and Colin Vogel are shut down, it sort of becomes one-dimensional. There's not much they can do otherwise because it's very transitional. And obviously, when you can't get the ball down efficiently, it's not going to help you. And almost no corner kicks, and whenever they were too low. So a lot of offensive mishaps, a couple of defensive lapses, but thankfully it was against a tough team. So it's not a hit against your confidence necessarily, but it's one you knew you could have walked out of with a win.
Absolutely, and you kind of took the words right out of my mouth there, Grant. If anything, a draw. You really feel like you could have came away with a draw against the top team in the conference, but much like LaGrange, there were thousands of opportunities. Thousands is obviously hyperbolic, but it really does feel like there were many, many opportunities left on the table for the Lions, especially in that bout where they had 3 very difficult tackles that maybe the official let slide for the sake of just competition and aggressive play, and then you get a beautiful free kick opportunity very close to the box, and you're unable to finish that. These are opportunities, especially that one, that I feel come up very, very big that you're unable to finish.
Yeah, and I think the 2 games, this game and the LaGrange game, are a very good wake-up call, I would say, for the Lions going into conference play. They know what they need to work on. They need to force the bill, I guess, more on offense. Try to work on getting those connections, those quick passes, instead of just sending it down the pitch and praying. We know their offense can score. We've seen it before. We saw what happened last year. You just got to find somewhere left where you can do it.
The offense and the team will not have too long to ponder as they will be back in action on Friday against Maryville. Their senior day, the last regular season home game for these Lions. as they look to battle the Maryville Scots in a regular season finale. Sorry about that, Grant. As they look to battle the Maryville Scots at a regular season finale, that will also be women's soccer senior day. Tomorrow will be volleyball senior day in the Mize in Cave Arena, as well as women's soccer. They will also be in action here at the WAC. So tons of Lions action for you as we wrap up fall sports here in Demarest. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Once again, your final score, Covenant comes away with the victory 3-1 as they defeat the Lions at home. For Danielle Percival, her incredible communications crew ran by, of course, Danielle Percival and Davis Barlow, along with Joseph Garwood. For Grant Prather, my partner, and for Shaylee Gallegos on the camera this evening, I'm Eric Evanson saying goodnight. Hope you enjoyed, stay safe, and as always, go Lions.